Hey guys, how's it going? This is Andre, again with Cat Amazing. And today I wanted to make a little video about how exactly the levels are work and how they were designed inside of Cat Amazing. Right, so that's one of the things that we always talk about is that Cat Amazing has multiple difficulty levels. But we want to give you a bit of insight into exactly how they work and how they present a challenge to your cat. Now, we actually have a little bit of some images and the kind of a slider that demonstrates the levels in sort of a 3D model on our website at catamazing.com. And that gives you a bit of insight, but we can also just dive right into the toy and take a look exactly how it works right here. So there are 3 sections inside the toy, right? You've got 1, 2, and 3. Now, to make it easier to identify them, inside the box, they're also subdivided into the sections, right? You can see the insert with kind of the baffle inside breaks it up into those 3 sections. And as we always like to highlight, you can see it's kind of color-coded, right? The colors are actually meaningful not only to you, the human, but also to your cat, because these are actually the colors that cats see best. So the feline spectrum is a bit narrower than the human spectrum for the light that they see. And so for the colors they see best are green, sort of purplish, and yellow was the color that stand out to them the most. And we sort of thought it might be fun and interesting to put those colors into the sections that divide the levels. So how do the levels work, right? Well, the philosophy behind what the different sections do is essentially to do with the size, the number, and the position of the holes that enable access to the reward, or usually the treat that's inside, right? So starting with the beginning level, right, you can see that out here, there's one big opening at the bottom. So all the cat really has to do is reach inside and slide out the treat. It's the easiest way for them to get it out. Any of these other top holes are for them to look at and to sniff, but unless they're a complete pro, like Mookie is, and I'll show you a video at the end of Mookie just reaching in and grabbing with his hand and pulling out the treat, and then a disaster that follows. I'll show you that as well. But you can see, you just pull out the treat. It's very straightforward out of this section of the toy. Now, in the middle section, it gets a little bit trickier because there is no way to just directly slide the treat out from the bottom. So there's 2 options, really. They can either reach inside and slide upward, which will either make the treat pop out of the side, or they can drag it all the way up to the top and slide it out from the top. It'll fall out and then they can get to it. Or they can start batting the treat into the easier level, right? That's another option as well. And then for the 3rd level, the idea here is that we wanted to give them no option to really reach in from the side. It has to be a sliding motion up to the top. So they have to be able to grab and kind of hold the treat all the way up as they drag. And there's really no way for them to get at the treat any other way. These holes on the sides, they could go in there. There's a bit of a kind of a thick border there, as well as the hole. These holes are actually fairly small. These are the smallest holes in the box. So when they reach inside, it's trickier for them to get paws kind of wrapped around the treat and be able to pull it out. So that's kind of the general philosophy. The idea is to have them be forced to do different motions, progressively more difficult motions, and longer motions. In other words, they have to hold the treat for longer for them to be able to pull that out. There's also some other details here as well. So for example, these holes on the sides of the box actually get progressively smaller as you go down the levels. It's kind of hard to tell in the video, but once you hold it, these holes actually progressively, the diameters get smaller and adding to the challenge. Right, so that's the general idea, and again, the cat can always move the treats from one level to the other, which kind of adds to the strategy that they can use to pull it out. And as a bonus, there's actually even a secret 4th level that can be unlocked inside of this toy. No additional purchase necessary. It's all in here. And what it does, I won't tell you how to do it because there's a secret video that you get access to when you buy the Cat Amazing. But the general philosophy is it gives you a level where you cannot drag the treat, rather I should say, or could be a toy, out of the hole at all. You have to literally reach in and grab it or push it back to a different level. So that creates a 4th, most challenging, top cat, ultra secret level inside the Cat Amazing. Cool? So I hope that kind of explains a little bit as to how the levels work and kind of the general philosophy that went behind it. Would love to hear your feedback. From our observation, that's with our cats and cats when we do photo shoots and cats of our friends, the levels work. It kind of, we're talking here about strategy and things like that. And is the right cat really sitting there thinking about planning things out? Probably not. But just the way the sections are designed forces them into motions that are more and more complicated as we go from one to the next. And we have seen it work in terms of how long it takes for the cat to get the treat, how many times you have to go around the box, push it to one section, run around, grab it from a different section. As you actually pay attention to these things, you do realize that it's actually much easier for them to get it out of the easier level than from the middle level, from the middle than from the harder one, and from the top cat, ultra difficult level. Cool. So yeah, we'd love to get your feedback and your thoughts, and of course any of your questions. You can leave them in the comments. You can also find us on Instagram. That's Cat Amazing Toy at Instagram. And of course, the hub of all things, catamazing.com. Join us there. We'd love to see you there. Cool. Thanks so much for watching. Bye.